Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Gamerdisco podcast. I'm your host, James, and we are joined today by social media guru Harry and head of events Swanny.
Hello. How are we doing?
Good, excellent. Today we'll be talking about, guys, our first ever entry into gaming, our first ever childhood experiences of games consoles and where that took us, and our love of gaming, all things gaming. And then we'll be going on to some gaming news hosted by Harry. And then we'll be discussing the lack of PlayStation 5 and how angry I am that I can't get a hold of one.
Oh, he's so angry. He's furious, fuming.
Arg.
So
Kids are crying.
First off, how did you guys? So Harry, how did you first get into gaming? What?
Oh goodness me! My father had one of those old boxy PCs, and the first game I remember playing was Commander Keen 4, of all things.
Okay.
Yeah, there was another game before that, like a bomber game, like a plane, but that was just like an arcade style game. But yeah, Commander Keen 4 was the one I first remember. I didn't have a console till I was like mid-teenage years, but the chap that lived next door, I used to go around his and play Sonic the Hedgehog on his Mega Drive. That was fun. That was good memories there.
Yay, Sonic.
Tough game, though. Tough game.
What was the Commander Keen one? What was that about?
Oh, Commander Keen 4. So, have you played Commander Keen?
No.
It's a cracking PC series. Huh?
I am quite eager to. Never mind, move on.
You've not played it before? My goodness. Oh, you guys. Yeah, it's just it's a series. I think it's like a teenage boy who's in space and he has a babysitter or something, and he's trying to get around her, and there are slugs you shoot with a laser, and you have a pogo stick. It sounds insane, but it's good fun. It's a right laugh.
Nice.
It was the first. Also, I learned the cheats after a while, and I was like, oh my god, there are cheats in this. I can, change the outcome based on what I want. This is great. This is genius. Yeah.
Wow.
Happier times.
But no Super Mario. Disappointing.
Super Mario was the first game I played when I got my first console, which was a Game Boy Pocket, of all things. And Super Mario, the one for Game Boy Pocket was what I got first. And I remember playing it so much that my godfather at the time said to me in the car, because I was so quiet, I was on this console playing like crazy. And he said, "Oh, you're always playing on your thing. You're never talking to me." I was like, "Yes, you're right. I should probably talk to you because you're from Switzerland and we don't see each other much." So I felt bad, but yeah, it's been a fun road. How about you, mate?
When you say your godfather at the time, do you mean that you've got a new godfather now? He's just changed?
I have the same godfather. I am now godfather to his son.
Ah,
yes.
Godception.
Yes, there you go.
Nice.
Go on then, Swanny. How about you? What was your first?
Yeah. My first, I don't know, actual first gaming experience. I think it was something like Last Ninja or something like that would have been on those Commodore 64. Had about
Classic.
20. So played things like Attack of the Mutant Camels and all those kind of older games. Entirely different to you boys. My first experience of gaming was on a tape.
Wow.
So you have to you get a little separate cassette player.
1960s, Swanny. Was that
19? So no, it's just North Wales, mate. We had a separate cassette deck that you plugged in.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people listening will know this. You put tape in and then obviously push it down, press play, and you just wait while the screen vomits at you for about half an hour, and then hopefully a game happens.
Sadly.
So yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say that's probably Last Ninja or International Karate Plus on the Commodore, I should think. It was the first experience.
Sadly, I can also remember the tapes. I wish I couldn't, but I had.
What's sad about it?
Well, because it shows how old I am.
Wonderful thing.
You guys aren't that much on me. I'm 30. I think you guys are 40 and somewhere in between.
And Harry, do you remember Paper?
There's a game called Paper?
Yeah, great game.
No, I meant the actual physical thing of paper. You're all using iPads now, aren't you?
I'll use scissors and beat you. Unless you get a rock.
All those kids these days.
Back in my day, things were better.
All with their Pelotons.
I remember the tape that I had a ZX Spectrum, and was it ZX Spectrum with a little keyboard with rubber keys? And I remember putting the tape in, and then just going to go and eat, go and have my food, and come back, and it's a good 2 hours. It was ridiculous. I think it was like an hour and a half.
Oh wow!
If it's loaded at all, that is, and not stopped halfway through.
Oh yeah, and then you have to start again. Yeah, and it would make some stupid noises. But yeah.
There's a really good tune, which we'll have to link to in this, by Richie Pitch.
Okay.
Who uses the loading sound? I'm going to stick it in the chat here, then James.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
We'll put
such
it in the
a great tune, but actually uses that opening loading noise to really good effect. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, we should point out, obviously. We should point out this is the first show, so it's not that well rehearsed. But in the future, there will hopefully be music guests and people playing songs and compilations, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is
You can expect the usual kind of informal, loosely presented,
highly polished
shenanigans.
Highly polished, Swanny. It's a
that you do on a normal Gamerdisco night, only in your ears instead of your eyes. But,
yeah.
We might
Hashtag
get eyes
pants.
soon. We'll see. Hashtag pants. Anyway, enough about us, James. What about you? What was your very first one?
So my very first one was the NES. Yeah, Nintendo Entertainment System.
Nice.
Just to clarify for those people who have been living under a rock, don't know what a NES is.
Apart from the SNES, which was of course the special, Nintendo Entertainment System. Don't at me, bro.
So I was like 7. Went round to a mate's house, and then he had this NES. Never seen this before. Hadn't seen the adverts or anything. So like he just goes, "Oh, this is my new computer. This is my new like present. This NES." And we started playing Super Mario. Obviously, I think it was. Of course, came bundled with it, and that was it. Lost. That was it. I was done. I think we played for like 2 hours straight until my mum came to pick me up, and then I was still just wanted to stay there. Just like,
wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, that was it. Hooked. And then after that, then I got my own NES, got Mario, then got a Super Nintendo, got Star Wing, I think, and then Street Fighter 2. Absolutely hooked on that. And then went off into PCs and stuff. And
you're one of those people, I see.
Yeah, only when I was a teenager, I was really I got really snobby about the consoles, because the graphics, I got into the graphics and the fact that you get better graphics on PC in the wider range, and then I come back to consoles now.
That's good.
All place.
Whereas in my day, the graphics were essentially Premier Manager 2 was pretty high-end graphics. And that was essentially a spreadsheet. Pretty much. Doom was, we did have Doom actually.
Doom, yeah.
On about 17 discs.
Oh god, yeah. But at least you could get the disc, and then I got my friends and I just loaded it onto my computer. You didn't have to buy it. You just get your mate.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't endorse piracy. But just to clarify,
before it really existed back then.
But
You mean your friend who'd ordered them for you?
That's
paid him for.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
That's
what I meant. Yeah.
Got you.
God, times have changed, haven't they? My goodness.
Changed.
They have, haven't they? Just
much more complicated now.
Pretty phenomenal. And I think having seen, having been involved with so many different things over the years and seen so many different console launches, it's quite interesting to see where it's headed to.
Yeah.
Perhaps a conversation for another episode.
Maybe so.
I'd love to talk about the Dreamcast as well, but we don't have time at the moment. We can leave that for another time. But on to Harry. He's got some gaming news for us.
Yes, gaming news. So this will hopefully be a regular feature. We'll dedicate a bit of time each podcast to talk about the upcoming releases and any news in the world of gaming that's just happened. So, what's happened these last few weeks? Well, you might have heard a while back, Bethesda got bought by Microsoft for a paltry $7.5 billion. I mean, pocket change for them, really. It's just Microsoft, so they have lots of money. But yeah, I guess they wanted to get ahead of Sony and the PlayStation 5. They needed to do something to, take the lead. But they have just announced that, sadly, some of their games will be Xbox exclusive. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, not good news.
Not happy, because I'm a PlayStation fan, so...
There you go.
I mean, it's inevitable, isn't it?
How
are they going to not do it? I can't understand.
Also... Sorry, go on. I was going to say also
Yeah.
Fallout is one of my favourite series. So
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, we don't know the details of it yet. Like,
Yeah.
it might be just timed exclusives, like Sony has with the Final Fantasy VII remake. But of course, this has allowed Microsoft to release all of Bethesda's old games on Game Pass. So I guess benefits in that sense.
okay.
But I mean,
It's
yeah,
great for Bethesda. It's absolutely phenomenal for
Yeah.
Bethesda, obviously.
totally.
And I think, yeah, slight bias having worked there myself, but they're a really, really great team there. I think there's each console transitions, right? So over time, I've gone Xbox, then PlayStation, then Xbox, then PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting now is if you look at PlayStation and Microsoft have agreed to use the Azure servers rather than Amazon Web
Yeah.
Service now. So Microsoft
really?
and Sony coming together, not coming together necessarily, but how far away from cross-platform play, So yeah, be
There you go.
interesting to see where that goes over the next year or so.
Or maybe Google's platform. I can't even tell you the name. Was it Stadia? Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Is that gone
Yeah,
already? Might have gone.
There's perhaps we should have another episode about Stadia and OnLive.
Stadia, that's it.
All of the previous incarnations of streaming things that have tried to work, but yeah, Stadia. Interesting.
Remember the Wii, yeah? The Wii Ya, was it? I can't even pronounce it.
The
Wii.
Wii.
The Wii Ya, the Android one. It was a Kickstarter thing, very popular.
I thought you were just ordering a Nintendo but being posh again.
That is my whole thing. Anyway, okay, let's move on. So, new releases coming out soon. There is another Resident Evil coming up called The Village. I don't know if horror games are your thing.
How many?
They're
is that
mostly
now?
the same. Sorry?
How many is that? What is it?
I couldn't even tell you. Like,
It's like a lost track.
lots. I mean, they all try something different, I guess. They're all sort of horror, but some are more psychological, some are more, direct. But yeah, I've heard good things. People seem excited, so that's good. Another franchise game that's coming up at last after countless years is a new Pokemon Snap game. Now, I am very excited for this because I love the original on the N64. I mean, that was my first main, home console, the N64. And that game has a very special place in my heart. Very simple, but very fun gameplay. So that could be good. Have you guys played that? Snap? You must have done.
No. I've
No,
only
you've
played
not
Snap,
played.
obviously.
Pokemon Snap, taking pictures of things.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I
PS,
remember Pokemon.
how'd you get
Go.
Pikachu on a bus?
Yeah, Pokemon.
I won't do my other Pokemon joke.
Go on, do it.
No.
Save it for another day, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Mew. Sorry. Puns.
Good. I like that.
Yeah, what else is coming up soon? There's a new series for the PS5 called Returnal. I think this is the first in a, hopefully, franchise for the PS5, because they need new franchises. This sounds a bit like Resi, but it's a psychological horror, a bit like the film Edge of Tomorrow. So that's a new series for the PS5 coming out end of April. That sounds quite good. And recently announced, just announced today, in fact, a game, I couldn't even pronounce this right, but I saw it on our group chat before I planned this episode. I'll try and pronounce this, I'll butcher it. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Switch Remaster?
Oh, close. Shin Megami.
There we go. I'll take that. That's 9 out of 10. There you go. Yeah, that's coming out for the Switch on May 25th, so that's exciting.
Phenomenal.
There we go. What else this month? So, yeah, one last thing. This is quite big news, well, for me anyway, was that the game Conker's Bad Fur Day turned 20. This was an absolute gem of a game from Rare's glory days to the N64. Did you guys play that?
No,
I didn't.
I was too busy playing GoldenEye.
No, surely you guys must play that. It was a beautiful, wonderful game. Yeah.
No, I didn't. What was it about?
So it was a very adult game. It was starring a sort of a foul-mouthed squirrel called Conker. It's having a bad day after a hangover. And it just goes on from there, and it has countless film parodies. It mixes all kind of different gameplay styles. It's very dark, but very funny. Quite scatological at times, but yeah, really, really good. But yeah, that game turned 20, and as such, people online have been doing a big celebration to celebrate it because people have good memories of it. The voice of Conker, Chris Seaver, who was also the lead dev, tweeted the plans for the sequel. That was interesting stuff. Chris Marlowe, who voiced the great and mighty Pooh, one of the game's first bosses, an opera-singing turd, gave a live rendition of that on Twitter. That was brilliant. And Robert Beanland, who did the game's music, played some on YouTube too. So yeah, we'll drop links for those in the social side of things. And you can check them out. Give them some love, because guys out there, when they have these games, these projects that they put so much time and effort into, they have a real special place in people's hearts. So show them some love.
Yeah, well said, Harry. Happy birthday, guys.
Happy birthday.
There you go.
Happy birthday. Maybe
20
I'll
years.
Play it. Have a go.
Definitely do it. I definitely recommend it. I mean, when I played it 20 years ago, I was clearly far too young to play it. It was an 18 rated game, and I would have been, very young teenager, and I should not have been playing that when I did. But even so, I think lots of people were in the same boat. But the game was released like right at the end of the N64's console, the life cycle of it, so it didn't do great numbers. But plus, when you're trying to market a game that's basically 18 rated to a generation of kids, that's quite a tough sell. But
yeah, definitely. I remember talking about censorship, and that's perhaps again another episode in itself, isn't it? Age ratings and things like that. But I remember saving up £60 to buy Mortal Kombat when I was probably 14. I'm guessing here. But yeah, I had to get a bigger kid to go and buy it for me. And that I was thinking the other day about how in the then, which was 94, if that rings true, then it was 60 quid for a game then on cart, and it's still sort of the price of the games haven't changed, but the teams working on them is absolutely phenomenal now.
Oh, inflation.
Yeah. I mean, Mario Kart was I remember Mario Kart was about 50, 60 quid on the N64. And that that price never dropped because it was so popular, because they never need to discount it.
Yeah, I mean, games have always been about that number, haven't they? Some of the PS5 ones are now like 70, 80, which is hopefully it won't get much more than that, but we'll see.
See what happens.
Well, if we can get one, which leads us on to the next topic.
Exactly. So I've been trying desperately to get a very nice segue.
Thank you, Harry. Years of practice, mate.
So I've been desperately trying to get a PlayStation 5, and it's driving me crazy. And I went on to the Argos website last week because there was meant to be a drop, and there was a drop of some PlayStations waiting in a queue. So I'm queuing up. There's a little man.
What? Sorry, an online queue, you're saying?
It's an online queue.
My God, how British.
Queue. That's it. This is the world we're in now. Online queue to get onto the website, so that it shows you a little progress bar.
Okay.
And then it says when you get to the front, then you can go on and actually purchase it.
Okay.
So I got to the front of the queue, got the alert, went on, and get there, out of stock.
Brilliant. Bugger.
So, very annoyed. I just think, I mean, I get that there's going to be shortages initially when new consoles come out, because it happened with the Switch, didn't it? Same thing. But I just think, it just drives me nuts, because you just and then they just pop up on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, do not give money to a scalper. That behavior should not be encouraged.
Exactly.
And you can still get one if you want one badly, but from a scalper, it's never worth that.
Just makes me angry.
I mean, it's not just PS5s, is it? It's like everything is hard to get right now because there's a shortage of chips due to some kind of pandemic. Have you heard about that? There's some kind of pandemic going on, I've heard, but I could be wrong. I
don't know. I haven't looked outside for a while.
Nah.
I think there's a difference with PS5 as well. I don't think it's intentional this generation, definitely. Mm-hmm. I think they've dropped a bit of a bollock with it, but over the years, there's always a shortage of consoles.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a lot to be said for the, demand and hype thing as well. So, yeah, I think, companies are now wise enough to be able to produce these things en masse and certainly be able to deliver on those promises. I think a certain amount of that is tied up with it, but yeah, it's definitely been hard to get hold of one, especially if you consider my inbox in the past 2 months of requests from people that say, "Hey, you work in the games industry. Can you get me a free PS5?" Yes.
Come on. How it works. Just a free one.
Especially just before Christmas. Oh, my kids really want a PS5. I'm sure they do. Oh, can you get me a Wii instead? No.
I thought you had a cupboard of PlayStation 5s just to give out to people that ask.
That's what there is. Yeah, for the whole games industry, what happens is we go to a secret place and we've all got a key.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that's exactly how it works.
That's how it
That
works.
explains it. That explains it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's quite interesting you say about demand and supply. Nintendo did a very interesting thing recently, which is they only release some games for a short period of time. This was very interesting, like a bit of a sake here again, but yeah, I think it was the recent Mario game, Bowser's Fury and Super Mario 3D Land. You can only buy it online for a short period of time. And there was a physical release, but the physical release was limited. Like, there was only a certain amount made.
Huh.
So if you wanted to buy that game, you had to buy it during that window. And obviously, you could only buy it from them or from a retailer.
Clever.
But that was your chance. So if you missed that, you missed out. You'd have to go to eBay or something after that. But yeah, that's an interesting business model there, because Nintendo, in an effort to try and keep up, I guess, are artificially creating demand for their products, which
Yeah, that's a funny one.
online games, which effectively will never, they'll always be available unless Nintendo are the only ones you can get them from, and they say nope.
Well, I wonder, thinking about this in the long term, when you look at the proprietary technology that is within consoles and everything else, there's platform formats that are always won or lost by one or the other, right? So you're either Blu-ray and whatever on Sony, or HD on Xbox as it was. But over time, surely with the programming online languages changing, that's not going to be a possibility either. When you're sort of having these, eventually, what I'm saying is that the digital games will become unplayable because that platform is not supported any longer.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like hadn't thought about that before. Wonder what anybody else thinks about that. Send us your thoughts.
Let's know.
But yeah,
Harry, we all know what drives format wars, don't we?
we do. We certainly do.
Yes, and we discussed this in a test episode for this recording. And yeah, fun fact: when it comes to a new format like Blu-ray versus HD DVD, or even VHS versus Betamax, it is always won by whichever format is chosen by porn manufacturers, because apparently there's still lots of demand for that kind of area.
Wow.
There you go. The more you know.
Harry's
Every day's a school day.
Harry, do you want to tell us about how people can get in touch with us?
Sure. Okay, dokes. So yeah, you can find us on all the socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're called Gamerdisco on all of them, as you might imagine. But the most direct way to contact us is through our email address, which is gamerdiscopodcast@gmail.com. One of these days we might get around to organising our own website, but for now, Gmail.
Yeah.
And I know everyone's going to be asking about Discords as well. We've had a few questions about Gamerdisco Discord in the past, and it's not that we don't want to. It's just that there's a lot of things to do in a day, isn't there? Even though we are all indoors. But yeah, I think over time, there's a lot of interesting stuff for the podcast to come as well. I'm really looking forward to some of the future episodes. Chatting to some of the guests, which we won't give away, but you can expect some of the Gamerdisco regulars, some of the good DJs, and some special industry guests as well.
Yeah, guys. I mean, if you enjoyed this, then get in touch. Tweet us your thoughts, or just drop us a message and say what you liked, say what you didn't like, or bring up one of the topics we discussed and tell us we are wrong and correct us.
And if anyone's got a spare PlayStation 5, just I'll be happy to take it off your hands.
Oh, James, that's very kind of you.
Yeah. Retail price. I'm not paying above retail price. That's fine.
Fair. But
cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far, and so our plan is to do the podcast once a month.
That is the plan. Through all your favourite platforms of choice for doing podcasts.
So we'll be on Spotify, we'll be on Google Podcasts, and we'll be on Apple as well, and a variety of other wonderful platforms.
What he said.
Exactly.
Exciting times.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. And we will see you next time.
Chat to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.